What's going on, guys? My name is Gregandcin, and I tried to record this video yesterday, but all the footage was blurry, so, have to redo that. So, this is just kind of a monthly roundup of all the games that I've played and all the things that I might have collected throughout the month, things like that, so I can publicly shame myself for not playing enough video games or doing anything interesting with my life. Today, I'm going to be talking about a couple games that I've played throughout the month and show you some stuff that I've grabbed along the way. And maybe we'll make some future content out of that. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, first off, this is kind of a meme game right here. This is totally accurate Battlegrounds. I played it with some friends a little bit when it was during the free period, but the game's really wacky. The physics engine is just out of control. Everything's exaggerated. The game is very kind of low budget thing. It's kind of a funny looking game. It's based off a totally accurate battle simulator, but this was supposed to be an April Fool's Day joke, but they decided to build it out a little bit more. There's patches for it all the time. They're adding new servers, but even though the player base has gone down significantly since its initial free period during the first 100 hours, I think it's not really worth $5 to me. It's a fun game, but I don't think it's something that you'll play for a long time unless you just want to goof around with your friends a lot. Second is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This is a very nice tactical shooter. It's probably the most popular tactical shooter out on the market right now. It's very slow paced. There's two main game modes, I believe, kind of a bomb defusal and a hostage rescue. The maps are constantly in rotation. The game's constantly getting updated with new operators that have different abilities, so it's kind of class-based in a sense. There are a whole bunch of new maps that they come out with as well, and the game has a pretty decent business model, if I do have to say so myself. I'm still not really good at the game. I've only put a couple hours into it, played it with some friends, so not too much happening as far as me actually playing it, but the mechanics are fun. Every weapon is a one-hit headshot kill. It rewards headshots very well, I guess, because if you take a look at every other shooter on the market, you have to either be really accurate with some guns, or some guns might take 2 shots, and Call of Duty just doesn't reward it at all. Either way, fun game. Probably not for me, but I think that if you're into something a little bit more tactical, it's definitely worth a look, and I definitely recommend grabbing the standard edition. Starter edition is an absolute ripoff. Oh, it's $15 or something like that, and you get a couple of operators. You don't get the whole range of the original operators or anything like that. Trash, don't buy it. Spend the extra $5 on the starter edition. Next up, I played Portal Now. I played this very earlier in the month, or it might have been last month, I don't remember, but I haven't talked about it a lot. I ran through this game in one whole sitting. Just as I'm trying to get through this video really fast, this game is very fast if you can understand the puzzles that you are doing. I did it in about 2.5 hours. It says 2 hours on Steam right now, but it took me about 2.5 hours to get through. Some of the later puzzles confused me because I'm kind of dumb and I don't know what I was looking for. I also started Portal 2 and I haven't finished it, but it's more of the same, just a lot more complex. It looks better, and those two are kind of in the must-play category. Those are games that you really need to play in your lifetime just because they're really fun. The humor is great, and the puzzles, while they might not be super challenging, at least in the main game of Portal 1, you will have a fun time just getting through the whole game. And last but not least, of all the major games that I've played in the past month would have to be Hanako Honor and Blade. Am I right? Yeah! I got a code for free, so take that as you will. It was for their launch of their Early Access 2 patch, which is what they call their major patches, Early Access 1, 2, 3, etc. So the patch came out about an hour after I started playing. Actually, we were told to start playing a little bit earlier when I got the code, so I mostly played with a whole bunch of people during the first patch. This game it has potential, I'll say that. It is a class-based fighting game. Right now there are 4 classes. There's an archer dude who was overpowered, but they nerfed that during the second patch. There's a typical samurai dude. There's a pikeman type deal, and then they have what they call the assassin. He just has like a chain, and that one's fun to mess around with. While each of the characters has different abilities, and the attacks have different stances, like you have a light, which is fast and stuff, and then you have a heavy maybe, or maybe like a long-ranged one, something like that. Each character has multiple stances. I believe right now it's only 2, along with running attacks. I don't know, the game feels wonky. It's definitely in an early access state, as it should be right now. It doesn't feel like one of those games that's gonna stay in there forever, at least from what I can tell. The devs are doing this as a side project. They all come from AAA studios. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have like AAA standards, but I definitely have high hopes for the game. I definitely want to see it progress and turn into something that's more than just me spamming the light attack with my samurai as an easy way to cheese somebody as they're running with a scroll so they can capture the scroll. Get it? It's a scroll, it's not a flag. Other than that, they have community game nights every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, so if you're looking for a time to make sure you have people to play with, definitely jump on that on Wednesdays. They have a public Discord for the community where the devs talk with people. It's not super active, but they definitely try and inform everybody on, hey, we have new patches coming soon, or hey, this is an issue, or you can send logs for crashes or anything like that, so they can get information so they can make the game better. When I first got the game, I actually asked for a roadmap, and they were like, oh, we don't have anything public facing right now through Trello or another board like that, so we'll just like give you an idea of what's happening. And then a couple days later, they added a public board, which is really great. It's pretty freaking awesome that they maybe took my feedback and put out a public-facing board, especially because I heard concerns from people when I wanted to talk about this game that they wanted to see what progress was going to be made. Definitely some notes to take on if you yourself want to put out an early access game, or you're looking for other early access games. Maybe ask the dev to do something similar. So that's all the games that I've played. But hardware-wise and maybe like things that I've picked up, I haven't done a lot as far as games go. But I do have this. This is a Sega Dreamcast. This is a motherboard revision 1, which is great because these are the most common that you see, at least in North America. And these are actually really moddable. Dreamcasts kind of have this thing where the drive, it's starting to fail a little bit, but yeah, this drive right here, I don't know how well you can see it. It is a GD-ROM drive, which is a proprietary format that Sega developed for this console, and these disk drives are kind of dying a little bit of a hard death. Fortunately, there are ways to circumvent the drive's death, and that's by putting in a sort of flash card of sorts. There's one called GDMU, which replaces the drive, and you get a little board. It's significantly smaller, reduces not only the weight of the console but the heat that it puts out, and you just pop in your SD card and you can launch whatever ROM floats your boat. Though you will be paying at least $150 or more for one of those mods, which is something I don't know if I can drop the money on right now. Other than that, I do plan on modding 2 other consoles because this kind of reinvigorated my need to mod. I actually have some spare consoles. One is an original Xbox because I have a Model 1.0 and I'm trying to keep that stock. I will clean it up as much as I can and make sure there's no leaking capacitors. I have a 1.6 that I plan on doing soft mods and maybe getting a mod chip for, so stay tuned for that. That's a relatively cheap mod to just start out with, like somewhere between $20 and $30, especially because I got the console for around 10 or 15, I can't remember. So for about as much as I would have paid for just a used Xbox on eBay, I can get a fully soft modded one. And along with that, I actually have a spare Xbox 360. Almost every mod chip is compatible with anything that isn't a first motherboard revision, and it doesn't matter what dashboard revision it's on. So all I have to do is get my hands on a soldering iron, one of those mod chips, which should cost me somewhere at least minimum $20 on a mod chip. That one is not as expensive as trying to mod this thing, but it does require a lot more work on me. I do have to actually get everything soldered onto the motherboard and working and not break the Xbox. So that's all I have to say about this month and my adventures in gaming and everything else that I do on this channel. It's all budget related. I really want to get through all my games that I want to on Steam. I have lists, I have categories of games that I want to get through. I don't want to have this like 20 years later still have hundreds of games that I haven't played. So that's it for this one. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns about anything in this video, leave them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you guys want me to try out next. If you want to see any more of my content, hit that subscribe button. It'll probably be somewhere over here. And check out one of the videos on the side. One will be one I recommend to you. One will be one YouTube recommends to you. Check out all my links down below for my Twitter, Instagram, Mixer, and everything else I do on the internet. If you like the video, give it a like. You know what to do if you didn't. My name's Gregson. I'm out.